Please welcome John Hopkins University Jr. from Uplift Peak Class of 2013, Andres Hernandez.
Woo! It's exciting, it's exciting. Hello, my name is Andres Hernandez. I'm a proud alum of Uplift Peak Preparatory. I am currently a junior at the Johns Hopkins University studying political science and social policy. It's difficult to believe that it was just 3 years ago that I walked right across this stage announcing my own college. It's even more difficult to believe that 5 years ago, I was in the stands watching the first college signing day. Time sure flies. Since the first college signing day, it has been a dream of mine to return to speak to the Uplift scholars that feel the same excitement I felt on this same day. Today, I've been given that chance. I feel even more fortunate that it's on the same day that my brother announced his own college of choice. He's out there, he's out there. So, my journey is a long one with humble beginnings, with many trials, many obstacles. Growing up, the realities of life, such as poverty, ethnicity, and language barriers, shaped the person I am today. They helped me realize that the world is a lot more complicated than I understood. And there's a great amount of sacrifice one needs to undergo to succeed. I recall the difficulty of money coming into the home and the dangers walking outside of it. At the time, we lived in a small apartment right across from where Uplift Peak stands now. My surroundings were unsafe, and I spent most days inside feeling my life was limited due to the harsh realities I faced day to day. I remember Uplift Peak's opening in 2004, and I recall seeing students begin earlier in the year and attend longer school days. For 2 years, I watched in amazement from my window as I saw crisp uniforms, happy faces, and more than anything, wondered what was happening inside the walls of those buildings. In 2006, I enrolled at Uplift Peak as a sixth grader. I finally found a place where I could escape the fear of violence that surrounded me, even if it was just across the street for a couple of hours. Everything at Peak felt like a safe haven. But the more I learned about the outside world, the more pressure I began to feel to become someone important in it and make an impact. I more clearly heard the voices that said I wouldn't make it, and I more clearly saw the obstacles that were in my way, that were preventing me from moving forward. I felt caged. Even my parents didn't believe in me. But I understand it wasn't their fault. They were blinded by the same harsh realities that I was raised by at an early age. In their eyes, manual labor was the only way we could support our family. However, I wanted more. Fast forward to my first 2 years of high school, and when I look back, I didn't put in the work I should have. I did a lot of playing around, and I had a pretty smart mouth, to say the least. I realized that if I continued down that path, I would go nowhere. The pressure was starting to build. I realized that school was something I needed to take seriously. I saw my future in two different extremes. On the one hand, I would attend an amazing institution and build a future for myself and for my family who needed it. On the other, I would give up and perpetuate the cycle of poverty that I knew I needed to escape. So one day, after school, after a very long day, I walked into my room, sat on the floor, and couldn't help but cry. I was depressed, frustrated, and filled with rage because I felt stuck. I knew that I had to move on. Otherwise, I'd be stuck forever. I thought about my teachers like Miss Fliss, who's out here in the audience somewhere too. Shout out to her. And Miss Sinha, who were the first two people who saw the potential that I had and cared for me. So in that moment, thinking all these things, I said out loud to myself, I'm going to be somebody, no matter what. Now, many people say you can't change the person you are overnight, and though it may be true you can't change the physical appearance or where you come from in the period of a single night, what you can change is what's in here and in here. All it takes is a decision, and that decision can change your life forever. I made my decision, and 5 years later, I'm at one of the best institutions in the world and making straight A's. Thus, I firmly believe that as individuals, we have the choice to shape our own destinies, and the only people who can decide what we can and can't do is ourselves. As a college student, I have faced a new set of obstacles, ones that have certainly pushed me beyond my limits and have helped me define the person that I am today. I'm not gonna lie, college has been the hardest thing I've faced thus far. In the past year, I encountered the thing I feared the most: failure. While I have achieved academic success and even made the dean's list a couple times, I have experienced failure in my personal life immensely, and I can't emphasize that enough. Failure in relationships, failure in communicating, failure to adapt to the social norms that were very different from the ones that I grew up with. And all this boiled down to me losing my sense of self. But what is lost can be found. I pushed through this by seeking out my friends, my close friends. I went to counseling. I reached out to my alumni counselors like Ms. Estrada, who helped remind me that why I was working so hard, who I am, and where I came from. Graduating seniors, if there's anything you can take out of this today, it is this. When you feel you have reached your limit, remember what you're working toward. Use that to push you beyond your boundaries, beyond your comfort zone, and you will find a part of yourself that you've never known. As Dr. Martin Luther King once said, the ultimate measure of a man or a woman is not where they stand at times of comfort and convenience, but where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. Face what you're most afraid of with positivity and determination, and don't accept complacency. Lastly, dream big, work hard, never give up. Always remember that only excellence will do. Now more than ever, it's your time to shine. Thank you.